Hello there, welcome to this stream. Tonight we'll be doing F-16. Decided that I wanted to stream more about military sims. Kind of off right now with civil sims such as X-Plane. Yeah, focusing right now on mastering this little biz, which is the F-16. So spending a lot more time, I would say, on the F-16 lately. And I definitely do like spending that time on it. So let's now review the interface and see what we've prepared for tonight. All right. So let's head for the 2D version of Falcon. All right, so the theater is Israel. Situation is that Lebanon is being invaded. Poor Lebanon. By Syria. Well, as if nothing was happening lately in Syria. Already a couple hours have passed since the start of the campaign. This is so day one. It's like almost 5 p.m. local time, and I've selected this OCA Strike, so we're going to strike this camp here. And so let's see what we've got. Okay, so the target will be Halak camp, and we'll be targeting mostly depot and ammo dump. Those are the most critical buildings for this target. So, as I am equipped with, let's see the loadout. Alright, so myself, I will be going for the GPU-10. So those are laser-guided bombs. Actually, I can show you a bit more about it. So those will be my ammunitions, and the two other guys would be going for the MK82, as you can see there. So if you want to know more about the ammunition we took with us, let's go to the tactical reference, munitions, bombs, and GBU-10. So general information, blah blah blah, performance, dimension, warhead. So yeah, this is a laser guided bomb. So this is a base of a MK84. And the warhead, let me check, what's the blast? Yeah, it's almost 1,000 pounds of... it's almost 1,000 pounds of blowing stuff inside it. Sorry, 2,000 pounds, as it's written here. So there we go. Heavy bombs should be blowing out those two buildings quite easily. Alright, so flight plan is fairly easy. Threats within the area should be scarce.
Alright, listen up.
Check the let's check the briefing. So yeah, this is the list of the target remaining. So what do we have in terms of threats around? So I say 8. 6 nautical miles southwest of Saidia, sorry. I say 8, I say 8. So, if I remember correctly, I say 8 is a mobile SAM launcher. Quite a pain in the ass, actually. Let me check what's the range for this one. So I'm checking. I have a document that gives you all the information about SAM stuff. So SA8. Yeah, let me show you the screen actually, if I can. Yep. No, sorry. Let me pull out PDF I have there. All right. Okay. So SA8. The red zone is where the distance from where to where it will fire missiles at you. And the green zone is basically when it will burn through your ECM. So those are our nautical miles, and so we should be something around, a bit less than 1 to 6 something. In terms of altitudes, it's 10, 15, 15,000, so Angel 15. So if I'm something like Angel 20, we should be safe. Which means that if I don't want my wingmans to be shot at easily, I should probably let them have the GBU-10 too. Let's check the loadout again. All right, yeah. So we'll take. Everyone's going to take the same ammunition that will be best for this strike. All right. We revert back to the interface. All right. Hey, Elios. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so what do we know about the flight plan? So if you check at it, we'll take the yeah. So it will be. We will be quite high actually. We're about 2000, which is definitely what we'll be looking for. So start point 2, 1 is the takeoff, 2, 22,000. We'll stick to 22,000 except for waypoint 7, 1800. I'm not sure I agree with that. I'm going to stick to 2200 to 22,000. So Angel 22. I definitely. The thing is that we're going to have laser guided bombs, so we definitely don't want to. Definitely, we don't want to get too close from the threats we have around. But I should also check within the briefing where are located Saidia and Sur. So let's check for Saidia. Hold on, I'm going to remove everything here and check the. I think this is the no, not the Intel. OOB. Okay, installation, and we'll take Syria. Or maybe Lebanon. Jordan, no. Yep. So let's check installations. Sadia. What's this? Let's check. No, this is Egypt. Egypt, yeah. Syria. Jordan. Check Syria if we have that here. Installations. I remove everything else. Political. Find. Sadia. Where is this goddamn stuff? Alright, so let's check Sur. Sadia. Alright, so this is here. And where is located Sur? Okay. Alright, so we can stick to the flight plan we have, since we'll be pretty much above any engagement range from the SAMs around there. Let me check, what is that? SA7. That's something I don't have on my radar. Well, I could put a threat circle over that, to be honest. Well, I'll stick to what I have right now. Since we don't have everything mentioned on the map, I'll write down that we're going to have some threats. So never under 22,000 in the area. Okay. Let me show you now the flight delivery. Well, the weapon delivery planner. This is the tool, the must-have tool you need when you're dealing with preparing flight plans for Falcon. So we'll be taking off from Raman, I would say. Alternate is Asterim. And we'll be taking off at 6, landing approximately around 6:47. I took a bingo at 4,500 and a joker at 5,500. This is, everything here is sort of pre-calculated, so the minimal fuel I should be at while over the target area should be minimum 4,400. Below that, I will be at risk, and I immediately need to go back to my home plate or any allied alternate airport in vicinity if I have an issue. As you can see, we'll be pretty much a big package here. So there'll be us, 3 others for the OCA Strike, so Doom 1, Fury 4, and Lobo 4 that will be escorting the entire package. So we'll definitely be the first one to take off, from what I understand. We'll be leading the entire package. But behind that, we'll get other people, other guys, other teams from here. You see the numbers of F-16 or F-15 that they have. So here we have the first package, F-16I, Block 52. F-15, SCC, sorry, F-15I, F-16D, Block 30, and F-16I also, so Lobo 4, which will be your escort for the flight, for the package. All right, so we have here all the important information regarding the taken UHF, VHF frequencies from the airport. Also, we'll get the one from the alternate. ILS frequencies if we need it. And departing runway. That will be adjusted depending on the flight, the weather conditions. So here we have the recap of our weapons. We have also a fuel tank with us. Recap of the target, including coordinates. If we have any issue pinpointing to it, we have the coordinates here, so that would be that's handy when it comes to reprogramming anything in flight. When it comes to the map, as you can see, it's pretty much loaded with a lot of air-to-air defenses. As you can see there, all those circles are either radar or air-to-air defenses facilities. So yeah, the area is quite dangerous. I've not checked if we have any air-to-air threats, but we have a flight within the package to deal with that. So hopefully they'll do their job and we'll get to the target with no harm done to us. Well, we'll see. This is the first day from the campaign, so obviously we might be up for a surprise. I don't know. This is a dynamic campaign, so you never know what's going to happen. All right, so I think I'm ready, I would say. Yep. So let's go. Let me check my config regarding the HOTAS and see if everything should be functioning correctly before we hit the button to take off. All right, preparing. Everything should be set correctly. So let's go. Let's see. All right. Let me pull back the 2D screen. Remove this one. And I'll remove the background. We'll go for the main. And I hope we'll get correctly sized this time. Well, we'll see. All right, so let's take off right now. Okay, so we'll go for a ramp startup. So I'll show you again everything when it comes to dealing with the preparation of the plane and flight. We've got something like 45 minutes. Pull up the see there. It will be stopping at 20. At 20 minutes, this is the time limit for starting the ramp start for the flight. All right, we're almost there. Okay. All right, we're there. Okay, I'm going to block now the track VR and go with the mouse in cockpit, so you don't get seasick while watching me turning your head around in the cockpit. All right, so we're set with clothing the canopy. We'll set up the battery and do some tests. All right, so we see the lights here moving changing to the test lights from each of those. So that's tested and behaving correctly. We'll put the battery position to main power. We have the air source to normal that you don't see, but I'll show you after though, once I reactivate my Trach IR. Okay, so we'll go for the anti-collision, wing and tail lights, and we'll power up the radio. COM1, COM2. So channel is already preset to 6. Missile. Okay, I'm increasing the volume from that. Intercom, making sure that we're going to have audio from the tower. I'll set up my I'll arm my ejection seat after I'm out of the hangar. It would be I would end up as a pizza if I had to fire it up the ejection handle. All right. Okay. So we're ready to start. We need to power up this little beast before we can pull up any power in the MFDs and everything else. All right. So let's power up. We'll check the RPM needle. We have to wait for 20%. Once we reach 20%, then in this case, we'll pull up the fuel. All right, so we're almost at 20. You see this little latch? This is the latch you need to pull to press in order to start the engine. So I'm going to do that through my ODAS setup. And so the engine should be, yeah, so we see that the RPM is rising. Let me know if the sound is not strong enough and I'll... Okay. All right, so we'll now start the systems. And we'll start up the alignment procedure. We'll power up the arc points on each side of the front engine. So I'll show you the external view. I'll show you what's happening in the external view. All right, pull up this view. As you can see, the arc points, and this is the F-16I from the Israeli Air Force. Okay, pull up the HUD. My head-mounted display. I'll power it off. I don't need it right now. So we'll go and check in every. So first, what I'm going to do is pull up the data card, load it. All right, so we loaded the data card. Now I'll set the fact that my UFC will be the master when it comes to pre-selecting the information, frequency for information. So that will be set through this little screen here. As you can see, the alignment is in progress, as you can see there, and ready here. All right, so we'll continue powering up the systems. Power
Fury 3-2. I'm on tower. You're cleared for takeoff. Runway 23.
I'll put that to standby. Powering up now the link between the electronic warfare
Fury
panel
3-1.
and our
resume on navigation.
radar warning receiver here. Put it up to end off. I'll set the ECM to operate, so I can select the ECM whenever I want. I'm going to test the fuel.
Cowboy 4-1. Hold short.
6,000, which is what I'm expecting, so that we're cool with that. We'll do the test after though. What else do I need to do? I'll set this
Fury
one to
3-2.
parametric.
I'm on tower. Resume on navigation.
Okay, and everything here is set as I want, so nothing to do. So now we'll focus on the test. Alright, so prop heat tests. As you can see, we see it blinks, so we're good. I proceed back to off. Then we've got the engine fire test, works fine. Oxygen quantity, works fine. Alright, so
altitude.
Mitch
Warning.
and Betty and all the
Camera.
lights within the
Counter.
cockpit seems to
Chaff
be
flare.
working
Low.
okay.
Out. Lock. IFS.
Alright,
Caution.
so we're cool with that. FLCS check, yes, working fine. I can go back to one of my MFDs actually and set the standby to CRM. I'm checking the control page. Altitude track, yeah. PM, yeah. Back to, I'll check that to continues for the data link. I go to the test page, clear this up, and pull up the bit test. Oops. Alright, so the bit test is running. For those who don't know what is a bit test, it basically runs a routine on the electronic flight controls, and every surface will start moving in a sequence. And if you have a ground crew that is controlling the surface, it will know the sequence that it will do, and thus will check if the sequence has been completed correctly. There's also an internal check in the system that is on the panel. So you see it just finished. So we had run state, and now it's off because the test sequence is over. And if we had an issue with the FLCS, we would see here there's an issue in red. I don't see any more tests, failures on that screen, so I'm going to assume that everything's fine with the plane and that we can start the rest of the startup procedure from the plane. The alignment process is over. Getting now the flight plan on my screen. I'll check the time actually, because I think our takeoff is at, so waypoint 1 is at 6 and 1 minute, and current time is, yeah, we have sort of 10 minutes before takeoff, so we're fine. We're fine. We have plenty of time for that. All right. So we'll set up a few things on the DD. So this little buddy here. All right. So I'll set back to the main page. I'll get the sequence, and now I'll be in the list of all information, subsidiary, I would say, information that we need to check. First, I'll check the data link. So we've got our flight, but remember, we're part of a package, so we need to set up all the others from the package. So there are 3 other flights. We're on the data link, we're in group 10. So a group is all the numbers in basically, so you have got 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. until 90. And I'm not sure if it goes up to 90 actually, but I never went up then 40 because data link can only take up to 4 flights in the same package. All right, so we'll set up the leader from each package. So we'll set 21, 31, and 41. And we'll see, thanks to that, all the flight leaders from each flight within the package. I'll have, thanks to this 11, so 11 is me, 12 is number 2, and 13 is number 3 in the flight. 21 is the leader from the second flight in the package. 31 is the leader from the third flight in the package, and 41 is the leader of the fourth flight in the package. But you cannot have this information unless you go and have everything set up from Weapons Delivery Planner, because this is where you get the information. Meanwhile, I still need to set up a few other things, so we'll get back to Miss. We're set up now the laser, because right now the laser is in training mode. I need to set it to combat mode. Frequency is not going to change. My weapons are set to 1688, so that's not going to move. And let's check if I have anything else. I'll set up the time over steer point, and I want to actually see the bug that we'll get on this line, just to tell me if I'm on time when it comes to the flight plan. Hi there, I hate clowns. Good one, knowing that we're soon, there will be soon Halloween, so yeah, good one. Alright, so I'll set up the rest of the information. I'll ask for the QNH.
Cowboy 4. I'm on approach. 1036.
Alright, so 1036. Transition altitude, I have not checked the charts, but I'll take 11,000 or 5,000. I don't know. Let's say that above flight level 100, it will be the transition, which in military language you would say Angel 10. Alright, let's check the runway that is actually in service. So takeoff runway.
Cowboy
23.
I'm on approach. Runway 23 right for takeoff.
23 right for takeoff. Alright, so I guess we'll be heading left, and that would be all this little stuff just gone. This is the
Lobo
external view.
42 taxi. Runway 23 right.
Okay. Okay, so we're ready. I'll tell the tower we're ready. Before that, I'm going to remove the chokes.
Lobo 43 taxi. Runway 23 right.
And now request taxi.
Cowboy 41 ready for departure.
And we're flight
Taxi.
Cowboy 4.
Runway 23 right. Hold short.
Alright, so I'll set up the nose wheel steering. I'm okay. I'll pour up the lights. And there we go. Okay, we've got another flight coming up. I probably need to check if they're not going to, if there's no wingman passing by. I'll wait for the tower to tell me when I can go. You see, there's. Oh shit.
Lobo 4-1. I'm on tower. You're cleared for takeoff. Runway 23, flag.
Alright, I have to wait. Now I can arm the ejection seat. I don't have any lights or warning in the primary PFL, so primary fault display. And I re-enable my Trick IR. And by the way, I forgot about the pitot probe heat. Okay. I'll ask the tower again that I want taxi, and
Cowboy 4-1. Ready for departure.
I still need to wait. I don't know why.
Taxi, runway 23, flag. Hold short.
Oh, I hope this not crashed.
Lobo 4-2. I'm on tower. Cleared for departure.
Okay.
Lobo 4-1. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation.
Let me go. Let me go, please.
Cowboy 4-1.
Okay.
Ready for departure.
Hold short. Ah, shit. Still
Taxi,
short.
runway 23, flag. Hold short.
Hold short. Yeah.
Lobo 4-3. I'm on tower. Cleared for
To wait
departure.
again. But the thing is that Mr. Tower are kind of late, and I don't want to be late on schedule. We've got a
Lobo 4-2. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation.
Alright, you know what, I'll go. I won't wait for the tower to tell me if I need to go, if I can go or not. I need to, so I'll go.
Lobo 4-4. I'm on tower. You're cleared for takeoff. Runway 23, flag. Lobo 4-3. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation. Cowboy 4-3. Taxi, runway 23, flag.
Ah, that's... we've got the agreement now. If I like this game, I would say yes, definitely. Most people would say, well, you know, the graphics are not great, it's kind of aging. I would agree on that. I can't say the opposite of that. But the thing is, you won't find any sims that will bring you the dynamic campaign, the level of simulation you have inside in terms of the avionics, weapon systems. It's pretty complete, works really great, and the experience in terms of multiplayer and squadron is amazing. So it's kind of difficult right now to say that I would revert back to DCS. I do have DCS, and I do like DCS on some aspects, but I'm definitely sticking to this one because it brings a bit more in terms of simulation than any other sim that I had before. And that's why I'm actually part of a squadron. So if I was really not happy about this one, I would definitely not be subscribing and being part of a squadron. Okay, so now I need to take off, but I don't think he has granted us yet the takeoff. Alright, I'll try to see if I can pull myself up on the runway, taxi to the runway, and if I'll get the agreement from the tower to take off. He has not shouted yet, so that's a cool thing.
Cowboy 3-1, ready for departure.
All right.
Cowboy 4-1, ready for departure. Cowboy 4-1. I'm on tower. You're cleared for takeoff. Runway 23, flag.
All right, we're clear for takeoff. Let's go then. I'll go Buster. Gate, sorry. Wait for 170. Wow, runway is really short.
Cowboy 4-1. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation. Cowboy 4-2. I'm on tower. Cleared for departure.
Okay, 500 over both the. Alright, so now I'm back to Buster because I want to save fuel for the flight. I'll do a right hand. I'll do a right hand and resume navigation, yeah. We'll continue setting up some of the weapon systems while in flight. We have kind of plenty of time to do that, right? Alright, so...
Cowboy 4-3. I'm on tower. You're cleared for takeoff. Runway 23 flight.
Okay, so I'll stick to this angle of attack.
Cowboy 4-2. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation.
And pull up the other pilot. Alright, so now I'll set up the landing lights off. Let's dig into the weapon systems.
Cowboy 3-1. Hold short.
Okay. Alright, so I'll guess you will be seeing the MFD right
Cowboy 4-3. I'm on tower. Resume on navigation.
2 times, but you'll
Three,
be
airborne.
close up here. I'll pull back to standard altimeter. Okay, so let's check that. Release pulse would be 1. So I'll release 1 single. I've got only 2, so I wouldn't want to release a pair. Doesn't make much sense, knowing the targets that I have. Yeah, nose fuse would be... I don't think I have much of it. Oh yeah, nose and tail. Whatever touches the first. Well, I'll go for the nose. So I'll go to the control page. I'll check the release angle to be 10 degrees, not more. I'll enter that. Arming delay, 4 seconds. Well, seeing the altitude will have plenty of time, so 4 seconds seems to be fair, and I'll stick to that. We'll be sticking to the continuous calculation release point, which is CCRPs. Most of you have probably heard about this release mode for attack planes, bombers basically. So you have 2 modes, CCRP or CCIP, so continuous calculated release point, or continuous calculated impact point. So this is where you have it's the 2 modes are used for different things. Release point is great when it comes to weapons, guided weapons, so you can release it and after it will be guided from above. The impact point is for non-guided ammunitions, where you obviously need to see where you will, well, your ammunition will be dropped. So usually you'll see a small circle above the ground when it comes to CCIP. The CCRP will only be a straight line, just to show you where you're aiming and if you're aligned with the aiming profile.
Cowboy 3-1. I'm on tower. Cleared for departure.
So you see this little bug
Cowboy
here?
3-2. Taxi. Runway 23 flight.
That's just to mention if I'm okay or not regarding the flight plan time. I'm a bit ahead, but as I am currently climbing, I'll probably try to reduce a bit my speed. I'm okay with that. I'm almost above the first waypoint, so I will get back to the
Cowboy
flight
33,
plan.
taxi, runway 235.
And probably I'll check the, I'll set to auto, so the start point will be switching automatically from N to N+1. All right. Yes. Now we're airborne. I'll set the chaff and flare systems to manual. We're not really yet to the border, so I can wait to go fence in. So fence in is just the fact that I set up I power up and release every limitation I have in terms of armament. So I'm releasing basically it's weapons free, so I can. It's you can fire everything. Hi, Miss Copilot. Nice to see you. It's been a long time I've not chatted with you actually. So you see, I'm kind of doing different thing than the other streamers, but yeah, I've always been doing different things. That's kind of my label. Alright, so let's focus on the other systems we have. Alright, so we'll revert back to the air-to-air radar. So as you can see here, those dots are aircrafts detected by the radar. The numbers you have here are the altitudes. Oh, by the way, I'll change the uniform frequency to channel 6 because this is the channel from the package. Alright, so you see here those dots are aircrafts. I can zoom just to see, have a bit more details. So we are in RWS mode that you see there. The RWS mode stands for range while scan, which is the radar is going to scan any threats that it has in front of you. So you see the window we have here in blue. It's basically the range of the radar. So the radar is scanning an angle of 120 degrees here up to 40 nautical miles. So there's a kind of filter that will only select the targets that are within this sector. So all the crafts that I see are currently inside this sector. So if I pinpoint to one, you see right now we have this yellow dot, and so we see that it's definitely within the sector that we have. Oh, by the way, I forgot to start the IFF. So now you'll see the other aircraft. So in blue would be my flight teammates. So in blue there. In yellow, the ones you see in yellow are the ones, sorry, are the ones in yellow are the 21, and you see the numbers 41, 21 are the other flights within the package. The information you have below, so 26 for example here, is the altitude. As I told you, the way they, in the military, the correct wording when you say an altitude is called angel. Angel represents thousands of feet. And so everything that you have here, including the cursor that you have here is basically giving you the lowest scanning altitude and the highest scanning altitude. So currently my cursor is only aiming for all the targets that are above 9,000 feet up to 37,000 feet. I can, through this cursor here, change, I have something bound to my ODAS, and I can change the altitude where I scan all the aircrafts, and so basically you can change it and scan below, scan above. So if you're in different package, obviously you can scan above, and the other one will scan below. So that gives you a good angle and a global view of what's happening in front of you. Another important information. This is the bullseye. Bullseye is the common army, well, the common theater reference point. So consider this one to be coordinate 0000 in space, and everything else will be defined from the circle that you have here. So
Three in position.
anything that I check, anything that I will target and try to pinpoint through my scanners and sensors, will get bullseye. You get two information. You get the bullseye, so distance and angle, the course or angle, whatever you wish. So as you see, if I scan, for example, the guys just before, so this would be the package, the flight in the package, and the 4, if I remember correctly, are the guys sweeping any bad guys in front of us. So as you can see, the bullseye currently says for those guys 226043. So it means that those guys are 42 nautical miles from the bullseye at a bearing of 227. And if you check the north is this little flag here that you see, and so it means that the south is something like that, and that those aircraft are actually, yes, to 229 if you take north, south, east, west, and so exactly they are in the southwest quadrant from the bullseye. That represents that, and this is our own position. So currently I am at 220, 57 miles from the bullseye, and you see this circle here is a 16 nautical miles that we have here set for our range for the map. So that fits, the information fits, and everything that you will do and check in terms of flight and information from targets will definitely be always reference to this bullseye position, because this is the only way for the others to understand what exactly you're aiming at and what's happening and where. So that's something you need to master when you get into those simulations, is getting yourself a reference point from the bullseye. What I can do also is check those flights, if those are enemies or friendlies. I would bet those are friendlies.
Chalice 1, Cowboy 4-1.
Yeah.
Declare.
I'm just checking
Cowboy
with the AWACS, and they definitely say it's friendly. So as you see there, the 18 is, as already told, the altitude. So it's 18,000 feet, and I guess this is the flight that we have that is returning back to base, and obviously there are a bunch of, there should be 4 of them. Usually maximum is 4, and this is the case. You see the 4 ship, and this is a finger 4 formation they are currently doing. All right. So what do we have else? I'll tell the guys to start going through fencing. So I'll tell them first to I'm going to ask them to go trail.
Cowboy 4-2, go trail. 2, going trail.
The other flight here. Oh, those are F-15s. I think I can get the TGP to them. Those are the ones you have here in the radar. So I'm going to activate now the TGP from to air. Flag one of those and back to the TGP. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in. Voila! This is a F-15, yes.
In position.
So it's easy to reference when you have enemies nearby or contact and you cannot really identify what kind of plane it is. You can use a TGP if you have one equipped on your plane to check what kind of plane it is, if it's a friendly or not. Alright, so we're going to go master arm on, so I'll tell the guys to go fence in. Alright, so 6.
1, fenced in.
Alright, so fenced in.
2, fenced in.
Guess 3 will also say fence in. Or I need probably to go element. Yes, that's probably that I need to do. Yeah, fence in.
1, fenced in. 3, fenced in.
Alright, 3 is fenced in, and I'm going also to fence in. Alright, so you see master arm, it's on now. Since I'm going to use the laser with the GBU, I'm going to arm the laser too. We already checked the information and put the laser in combat mode, so that would be working okay. Alright, so we've got a couple of aircrafts there. I'm going to check if those are friendly or foe.
Chalice 1, Cowboy 4-1. Declare.
Sometimes friendly.
Cowboy 4-1.
Okay. Alright. Blah blah blah. Well, we're done. I'm going to power off the lights. Our speed is now matching the flight plans, so we're cool with that. The little box that you have there on the flight plan is the ingress point. That would be our egress point. And we see that we rejoined with the other flights. So you have the other flight leaders that we see in yellow and green here. Yellow-green. Yellow, sorry. So we've got the last flight from the package that is currently checking the air-to-air threats. And the others are doing the exact same mission as us, and probably aiming for other stuff in the vicinity. Alright, so now checking the... Alright, so we see that some stuff is exploding at distance. Okay, so we're going to reduce the altitude. Back to 18. I won't go below 18, I just don't want to. So if I check the information we have here, you know what, for now I'll stick to that altitude. I don't want to get below that. I think it's a bit too risky from my perspective. I need to speed up a bit. The 8 that we have here is an SA-8. Those guys are AAAs, and any number you see with an up arrow above it is an aircraft. So here, the ones you see here are F-16s. I could actually ask for target separation just to see what we have to declutter a bit this screen. So we have a bunch of F-15, F-16. So just to NP is, I think it's a Patriot. Alright. So, I revert back to manual. Switch to the ingress point right now. I definitely don't like all the sounds that we have on the RWR, because obviously that means something's going to happen. And I switch to ground. Alright, now we're sweeping those. This is a air to ground radar. I'll reduce a bit the map details. Alright, so we've got our inventory, weapon systems, map, HSD. I'll set up now the TGP to go for the steer point. So now it's focusing on the steer point we have below. I'll now set up for the target. I have already pre-selected.
Cowboy 4-3, let me out of here.
Alright, so the target.
Cowboy 4-2, request permission to engage. Cowboy 4-3, weapons free. Cowboy 4-2, weapons free.
Alright, so everyone's weapons 3.
3, welcome.
Okay, so
2,
I'm going to
welcome.
check now the steer point 15. Alright, so we've got our steer point 15. I'm going to zoom in a bit. As you can see, we've got our targets there. So this is the priority target I have. So I'm going to stabilize, ground stabilize the TGP. Pulling back, sorry, my Strike IR correctly. Alright, setting back stuff. So I've got, it's already pre-selected. I'm going now to, we'll be releasing anyway the first bomb once I'm in range.
015, 10 miles.
I'll tell the package element to go spread if I can. They already got 2 trail, so let's go trail for everyone.
Cowboy 4, go trail. 2, going trail.
Alright, so that was the first
3.
circle telling me that I
Fury
can...
4, attack target bearing 355, 10 miles.
Okay, so I'm going to go for the release point. Alright, wow, we've got a first paveway, sorry. So now I'm going to focus a bit on the target. My laser starting to emit, so it's going to pinpoint at the target. And you see that we have 35 seconds left before the impact. This information is repeated on the TGP and the HUD. So 30 seconds before impact. I'm going to check that.
Snake eyes.
Alright, so
Snake eyes. Snake eyes.
doing a circle over the target.
Paveway.
Well, we saw a target. We saw a plane just passing by, just below us. 10 seconds before impact. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! And we've got impact.
Paveway.
I think it got the... I think I got that. So I'm going now to select
2-1-1. Good
the
hit.
other...
Paveway.
Paveway.
I'm going to have the other target, but I think it's already damaged. Let me get back to the...
Paveway. Doom 1-3. Nailed it.
Yeah, everything's almost processed at this point. I don't know if it's worth that I spent... yeah, everything seems to be processed. Let me check what we have left. Probably I'll try this one. Alright, but I don't know if this is civilian. I don't think so.
Doom 1. Attack target at bearing 125.
Alright, so I'll take the other one. As you can see on the TGP, you've got a focus on the TGP from the extract I have, so everything is processed here. Oh, there's a lot of smoke. Yeah. Okay, so let's head back to... I need to drop that because otherwise it's going to be tricky to... yeah, I'm going... Ah, shoot. Going to be... Yep, sorry. Yep. Nope, that's not what I want. I need to stabilize, but it's really difficult to stabilize.
090, 10 miles.
No, I don't want that. I want those. Check altitude. Ah, shoot. This is really difficult. I need to recenter my cursor. That's your point. Okay, so now let's check what's that. Alright, we've got that. Let's... Alright, so now we're facing correctly.
Pave way.
We're facing correctly the target. We're almost 4 seconds before drop. Pushing the release button. Alright, so pave way. Okay, so we released everything. You see the caution is now lighting up.
Fury 4, attack target bearing
And I'll set up
5 miles.
I set up my
attack target is bearing
store config to cat
4
1
miles.
because we dropped everything, so we just need to tell the flight control system that we're now empty configuration. Alright, 36 seconds before impact. Seconds before impact. Still checking the information I have. I have got SAM, so SA 17, SA 5. I've done my second drop. I'll turn left now. Not too much. Not to mask the laser. Okay, 5 seconds before impact. Let me zoom in a bit. 2 seconds. And boom. Alright, we've got everything we wanted. I don't have any more targets. I'll switch back to waypoint. Oops. I don't like the sound of that. Oh, that's the Patriot, so that we're cool. Okay, so we go direct waypoint 6, waypoint 8, sorry. We'll switch back to revert back to air-to-air. Yes, exactly. But the thing is that the information included in this sim is pretty accurate. I've read a lot of stuff regarding the F-16.
Weapons on target.
And I can definitely tell you that most of the system represented here are definitely the ones that we see in the probably the earlier versions of the F-16, but definitely something that does exist in real life. So that's really interesting to see how a bunch of people did simulate actual military equipments. Alright, so let's head back to the waypoint. I've already alright, 22. Okay, so now I'll stabilize at 22. And once we're over the waypoint, we'll switch to the next one. Alright, so as you can see, they have been spotted and currently targeted by an air-to-air. So the Diamond is basically the latest one that scoped me on their radar. and you'll get the sound whenever some elements, either airborne or on the ground, will be targeting you. And if they launch a missile at you, you'll see here a red warning at launch, and definitely it's time to drop everything and get to safe position. I'll tell the rest of the elements to get back to me and rejoin. What am I going to ask them? I'll ask them to go... Oh. Finger 4. Let's try that. Or echelon right. Okay, echelon right.
Cowboy 4, go echelon right. Snake Eyes 3, 2.
I hope they dropped everything they needed. Thanks, Aid, for the follow. By the way, sorry I don't watch the chat all the time. It's kind of difficult to be focused on. Well, the detail from the plane is actually great. I mean, the model itself is not bad. It's just the ground that is a bit... well, could be better. But that surely will be improved in the future versions. And I mean, for a sim that is currently free, you just have to buy Falcon 4.0, and this mod is free. So for something free, I mean, I wouldn't really say anything because it's free. I mean, don't complain about it. Let's revert back to the plane. I don't want to be discover a bad surprise when I head back to the cockpit. All right, so we'll be soon asking for my colleagues to go. I hope they're done. Actually, I'll ask them to drop everything they have and get back. Yeah, rejoin.
Cowboy 4, rejoin formation. Cowboy 4-2, on my way. 3.
Alright, so they're coming back. Alright, I'm going to pull back a bit the throttle so they can catch up with me. So I'll stick to 90%. Paveway. Well, the you say different words depending on the type of ammunition you're dropping. Paveway is basically a flat bomb. Basically, paveway is when you drop a bomb. You say paveway. Snake Eye would be a bomb that you would be guiding with the help of a laser. And there are other things like that. So, and for the air-to-air combat, it's quite a bit more simple because there is like Fox 1, Fox 2, and Fox 3. So Fox 1 is a radar-type missile, but it's semi-active missile type. So it means that you need to maintain the lock on your target for the missiles to go to the target that you've selected. If you drop the target, it's definitely going to drop and go ballistic. So there's not going to eat anything unless you're lucky. Fox 2 is it's an infrared seeking missile. So your system would be giving you the information that it's locking your heat source, and it will be slaving the missiles to that heat source. If you confirm that the heat source is the enemy that you want to shoot at, then the missile will take the heat source and just stick to it. And so you don't need to maintain or to lock anything. You could be locking a close target with your radar off. It's just that you need to have a heat source. So that's really convenient when it comes to dogfight, because you don't need to lock the target. And it's even more convenient when you have, for example, like this, a head-mounted display, where you can definitely, let me show you actually. This is the dogfight combat. So if I wanted to, you see the little square that we have, that's my missile tracking device. So if it was locking to any source, you would hear in the headset a beep like that, and it means that it locked something. So I would uncage the missile and ask it to go directly to the target. When you're on a Fox tree is different. Fox tree is for what we call BVR. It's so beyond visual range, and BVR means that if you're going for Fox tree is really efficient when it comes to long distance fight. The ones that have seen Top Gun, the F-14 has I think it's the AM-54 missile, which is called also the Phoenix. Those missiles, the Phoenix ones, are really long distance tracking missiles. The ones that we have equipped here are AM-120. So those guys have a full active radar system. Means that the missile itself will be slave to your radar and your systems for the first, I would say, 15 to 20 seconds of its flight. So the missiles will refine its aiming thanks to your radar. And then once it has locked correctly to the target and definitely goes active, in this case your radar is not doing anything else. It's the missiles has locked its target, it knows what it needs to lock, and is going to follow the target until it drops the energy that it has. So that's called the active missiles, so Fox 3. And those guys, basically you can shoot them while locking a target, and it will help you. Basically it's the most efficient weapon because you can launch it and forget it. And it's even more efficient when it comes to tracking. This radar here is able, I think, to track something like 6 targets at the same time, which means that if I was equipped with 4 AM-120, I could aim 4 ships at the same time and fire a missile at each of them actually, and I would have 4 missiles in the air that will be already pre-guided to the targets, and I could revert back to the position where I was and forget about them. So it means that it's a good point of defense when it comes to long distance engagement. All right, so I think we're closing up to the base now. yeah, we still have a bit of distance to go. What other information do we have here? You have, for example, the distance here in nautical miles remaining until the next waypoint. So yeah, so you see 47 mile to waypoint 10. This is the approximate hour where we'll arrive at the waypoint. So currently we are at 6:41:53, and the estimation tells that we'll be reaching the waypoint at 6:46:38, and it's decreasing because I've increased my speed. Alright, and now I'll ask everyone to go fence out. Alright, so everyone fence out.
One, fence out. Two, fence out. Three.
I can go back to steer point. Well, you see we're already behind schedule because we were supposed to be there at 18:43:44, but I mean we're heading back to base, so that's okay. The bingo, you get the bingo. Bingo is at 4,500, and our current fuel state is 5,300. So we have plenty of fuel remaining to go back to the base. One thing you could check is the distance to home plate. That information gives you the amount of fuel that will be remaining once you land. Optimal altitude, so the most efficient altitude where you should be that you should be aiming in order to gain the maximum efficiency when it comes to fuel saving. And then you have, I'm going back to time over steer point. Let me show you other modes that are interesting. This one, destination, is interesting because you can modify the flight plan without interfering with the autopilot. So that's interesting. What else could I show you? Let me see if I have other information. Yeah, this one. Well, I don't have any GDAM installed, but if I had, I could pre-select and pre-plan targets, and the bombs will be pre-selected to go to a defined position. Alright, so let's head to home plate now, so that I'm currently aiming for home plate. Once we'll reach the 30 nautical miles to the air base, I'll contact them and tell them I want to head back to base. What else could I show you? That is the air-to-air mode. The big circle is because I've pre-selected the AM-120. You can see here I can select other types of weapons I have. And here on the screen you have the information. So here you can slave or sight. I have to check if it's I think those are the profile of the missile, if it's trailing or anticipating the path of the target. Cool is you drop a gas on the, as you can see on the missile, you have this little window that you can see, and there is a heat-seeking camera, and you can release a gas, a cooling gas, that will cool down the heat-seeking camera. Slave, bore sight, same thing for the AM-120. And then you can select the type of target that you're supposed to aim for. So if by mistake you fire a missile and you break the lock, in this case, if you pre-select the size of the target that you want to aim for, it will automatically go Mad Dog, but will focus on a definite size, on a certain size of targets. Alright, so I'll switch to the Ramon frequency.
Logo 44. Turn right heading 135. Runway
Ask them
23 left.
to
Logo
land.
Cowboy 41. Inbound for landing. Good evening, Cowboy 4.
Alright, reducing speed.
Runway 23 left.
We already
Welcome
see
back.
the runway. I'm kind of really
Logo
high.
41. Descend to 5,000. Maintain 300 knots. Runway 23 left.
Okay, 3 left.
Cowboy 42. Inbound for landing. Cowboy 43. Inbound for landing.
I'll be reducing
Logo
speed.
41. Descend to 4,000. Maintain 230 knots. Turn right heading 235.
If I show you, the air brakes are located here.
Logo 42. On final.
So I'm going to reduce speed. Because I need to be something like 350 when I get on the airfield, and then I will do a brake approach and landing. So 350 is fine. I line up with the runway, so I'm going to aim a bit for the runway so I can line up with the runway. Go something like 15.
Logo 43. Descend to 5,000. Maintain 250 knots. Runway
And
23
right now
left.
I'm going to ask the towards the QNH.
Cowboy 4.
10,
I'm on
36.
approach.
1036.
Alright, light is dropping.
Good evening. Logo 42.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
Alright, so I've lit up a bit the cockpit.
Altitude. Altitude.
Logo 41. Turn left to final approach course 230. Check speed.
Alright,
Logo
okay, so I'll do a
43.
straight in.
Descend to 4,000. Maintain 230 knots. Turn right heading 230.
Tower's granted us the authorization to land, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And I'll get the, so we've got to get the,
Yeah.
sorry,
Miles. Logo 44.
Alright,
Descend
so-
to 5,000. Maintain 250 knots. Runway
I'll
23
line up
left.
with 23 left.
Cowboy 41.
I'm on approach.
Traffic now 8 o'clock. 2 miles.
It-
Logo 41. Gear down.
That's not me that is authorized to land actually, so I'll do my brake approach.
Good evening, Cowboy 41.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing.
Oh,
Runway
really?
23
Okay.
left. Jet gear down.
Alright, so I'll drop the gears now. Let's hope I don't break anything, I'm a bit too fast.
Logo 44. Descend to 4,000. Maintain 230 knots. Turn right heading 230.
And it's really bad because
Logo 43. Turn left to
Really
final approach
fast.
course
I should be
230.
at
Check
something
speed.
like 170, so I think it will pass, but it's not really great what I'm doing right now, so I'll leave the air brakes open, fully spread.
Good evening, Logo 41.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
And then good on goal. I'm too fast, but it's to deal with that. That's okay. I'll raise a bit the nose to get a good hair profile and brake as much as I can. Pull the brakes on. And not going to make it.
Lobo 4-3 on
Abort.
final.
And take off again.
Bingo. Bingo.
And now I
Cowboy
take off.
4-1.
I'm on tower.
Resume on navigation.
Alright, raising gears. That was really short. I was too fast.
Cowboy 4-2. Descend to 5,000. Maintain 300 knots. Runway
Alright, so let's
23
go
left.
back to the runway pattern.
Lobo 4-4. Turn left to final approach course 230. Check speed.
And ask for the tower to...
Cowboy 4-2. Descend. Cowboy 4-1. Inbound for landing. Good evening, Cowboy 4.
I'm on approach.
Runway 23 left. Welcome back.
Alright, so let's reduce speed now.
Good evening, Lobo 4-3.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
Runway's there. We've got a traffic there. See?
Cowboy 4-1. Go around. Vector 335. Contact tower. Lobo 4-4. On final.
Yep, I think I need to get back in the...
Cowboy 4-1. Copied.
I'll go behind this traffic. The one we can see here. Alright.
Cowboy 4-3. Descend to 5,000. Maintain 300 knots. Runway 23 left.
Let's lower the gear.
Cowboy 4-3. Descend to 4,000. Maintain 230 knots. Turn right heading 220.
A bit too slow.
Good evening, Lobo 4-4.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
Alright, so now speed is
Cowboy 4-2.
far
Turn
better
right
than
to final
before.
approach course 230. Check speed.
Alright, so let's focus on this landing now. Gear down, confirmed, 3 green. Alright, so now we're good. 160, 170 is great, but I'm a bit low. Need to...
Cowboy 4-2. On final.
Alright. Profile is fine. Should be... Wow, that was
Cowboy 4-1.
I'm
not the
on
greatest
tower.
landing
Next
I
time,
did,
get a
but
clearance
that's
before
okay.
landing.
Yeah, I know, I should have asked before, but whatever. There we go.
Cowboy 4-3. Turn right to final approach course 230. Check speed.
We're going to go right and park.
Good evening, Cowboy 4-2.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
So let's exit here. And we'll get into one of those bunkers.
Cowboy 4-3. On final.
and get this one. All right. Okay. Now let's pull up some lights. There we go. Turn off the backlights from the instruments.
Good evening, Cowboy.
Turn off the
4-3.
I'm on tower.
Clear for landing. Runway 23 left. Jet gear down.
Turn off the non-essential systems, such as the electronic warfare panel, the ECM, sorry. Alright, the RWR is now off. Radar, I don't care. Master ammo, forgot this one. Alright, landing lights off. Seats arm will be set off after. Okay. I can pull everything down here. As you can see, the air source, I can switch it to off because the instruments are now off. Fuel pumps to off. Communication panel to backup. Lights, I'm turning them off now. Where's my mouse? Shoot. Alright. Okay, and now we're powering off the engines. There we go. Everything goes dark, obviously. Where's my... Okay. Alright, everything's fully dark and I removed the ignition handle. Let's try to see if I can have a view on another plane. Let's go through that. I don't know if I'll be able to... The flight model for the F-15 is not bad. But anyway. Alright, so let's head back to our mission overview and review what we did. Okay, so let me pull up now the 2D panel. Alright. So, mission was a success. Good. What did we do? They did stick to the MK82 in this case. I forgot. I thought that I changed that for them, but it's not the case. So that's why I had different callouts when it came to the bomb drops. Okay, so you see that was the entire package with all the flights, all the elements in there that did something or flew with us. Alright, so what did I hit? I hit the depot and the admin building.
Chalice 1, radar contact, bullseye,
What did they do, those
225,
guys?
10 miles, 17,000.
They did damage barracks. That is not okay. So some are destroyed now, and we'll check the stop now. And this one, damage. Maybe the bombs were not Maybe the bombs were not strong enough to blow up the entire facility. So those guys were the other flights were aiming at the same facility. It's a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. Check that. Floodlights, where they haven't done much. And Lobo had nothing to face them. All right, so let's check now the. Let's check our target. Which one was it? No, it's not there anymore, but I think that was this one, I'm not sure. No. Nope. No, it was one of those. Yep, no, not this one. Maybe this. Shoot. I don't recall what I did. Maybe, oh, it was around here, I think. Destroy, like that. This is not this one. Ah, this was this one. Yeah, out of camp. You didn't crash around. Yeah, true. Not the best that I did in terms of landing. But landing those planes is difficult because the it's like the Airbus. The flight control systems has different lows. So what it does is during cruise, it always tries to maintain 1G. So while it maintains 1G is basically while you're cruising or climbing or in flight with this plane, with all the elements retracted, the flight control system will always try to maintain 1G, so it will revert back to a 1G state within the correct angle of attack range, obviously. That's why you have the switch I showed you earlier, the Cat 1 and Cat 3, Category 1 and Category 3 profile, because that's basically telling the flight control system to maintain what range of angle of attack it needs to maintain. But once you deploy the elements or have some sort of controls failures, system failure in the plane under certain conditions, then the flight control system will change its internal rule, and now the inputs that you will have on the stick would be reflecting a normal, I would say, a classic plane behavior. So the plane wouldn't be trying to revert back to 1G, for example. It will maintain the angle of attack that you input or maintain with your stick. And this profile is activated when you deploy the landing gears, which means that the overall feeling and behavior of the plane with the stick is fully different from what you have. So yeah, that's what I wanted to a bit explain on how the planes work. It's more or less the same kind of things that you would find in civil aircrafts, such as the Airbus. That has different lows. This is exactly the same thing at a different level, because we're not discussing about liners, but we're discussing about military planes. But obviously, the F-16 has what we can call the early version of electronic flight control systems, because the F-16 developments was back in the early 70s when it was, I think, um, tested by the Air Force to replace the aging F-4s and other aircraft, such as the Crusaders and everything that they had. And also this decided to use the F-16. The F-16 actually was competing in front of a YF-17, which is some sort of ancestor of the F-18. But the thing is that the F-16 won the battle when it comes to the Air Force, but the F-17, sorry, was we took a full rebirth with the Navy, because the Navy was not really convinced by the F-16 as a Navy aircraft, because of the fact that it was not that much compact, and they were not really convinced by all the systems, and they had also a fear that only one engine would be difficult if anything happens, because they need to get back to the carrier, and with no engine that's impossible. So that's the main reasons why they didn't not choose the F-16. And then yeah, so the YF-17 became the F-18 after when the Navy took over the program. Meanwhile, the F-16 is still living a good life, because it's a plane that is widespread around the world. Many countries have this plane, such as the Israel Air Force. You have Turkey, Greece. You have the Netherlands, Belgium, Saudi Arabia, and I think also Egypt has some F-16 in their ranks. So in the end, widespread aircraft. So you don't have to demonstrate how efficient it is this plane. I'm still wondering if the F-35, which is the one that will replace the F-16, will be that efficient when it comes to the wide range of payload that it can take with it. So there, yeah. So yeah, that's a bit about the history of the F-16, if you were interested. So there we go. So the campaign is now over, not over, but or at least our flight is done. What I'm going to do is save the state where we at day 1. So now it's night. I'm not sure I will be doing another flight since it's already past midnight here. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed a bit different type of simulation, which is Falcon BMS. So as for the ones that would be interested, how to get Falcon BMS, that's fairly simple. You need to buy the original, or either you have the original CDs with you. And then the mod can be downloaded at benchmarksims.com. Through their forum, you need to register on their forums and download the pack. Basically, this is a torrent that you need to download. And as long as you have the original game installed, the mod will launch and be freely available to you. So if you're interested, well, go and grab your copy of Falcon 4.0. Get a good set of OTAS, actually, because you definitely need an OTAS for this sim. Trickyr is somehow mandatory. If you don't have any rudder, that's really not important. The plane has everything included for the coordination with the rudder, so you don't really need the rudder at the start. That's when you go for dogfights that the rudder tends to be a bit more useful. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll definitely be doing more about those kind of let's say, sims on the side. And see you next time. Cheers, everyone.